In this video, I've come to Alva Glen in the Ochil Hills just to the north of Stirling to attempt to walk, which I actually started about 3 weeks ago, but I had to abandon because I ran out of time. I'd already done another walk somewhere else and time got the better of me. So I've come back a little earlier in the day to try and complete the walk that I had in mind on that first trip. The reason I came here was I wanted to try and get a shot looking along the line of the mountains, but as luck would have it, we've got a thick fog. It's not so bad down here, but you can't see the summit of any of the hills because of it. So I'm having to improvise and do something different instead. Unfortunately, I've just noticed there's a sign saying that the path is partially closed. So I'm not quite sure how far along I'll be able to get, but I'm going to go and try and photograph some of these waterfalls, and if we can do something with the mist as well, then we will. So not quite sure how well this is going to go, but let's find out. The first of the waterfalls, and what I like about this is, well, obviously you've got these main falls, but as you look further up, there's a long stretch of the river or the stream or the burn, and in the distance there's another waterfall. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get access to that, but I'm certainly going to try and include that in this shot, so maybe something like that. I'm just looking around to see if I can find some foreground interest. Perhaps this ivy covered tree might provide a foreground. Right, here we go, this is the first shot. As I said, I've kind of moved a little bit more to the right, so I'm including this tree, and I'm also including this cascade, that cascade, and this cascade further up. And that's a shot in the back of the camera. As you can see, I've focused on the tree. The image I'm shooting at 1 second exposure, F16-100 ISO, and so it's going to come out reasonably dark, and that's the kind of feel I'm going for today, I think, because we have this kind of foggy, overcast, dull day. I'm going to try and work with that and see if we can give the images a kind of a moody feel. Right, how's this for a slightly different view? What I've done is I've gone in a little bit tighter. Here it is in the back of the camera. I've gone in a little bit tighter and I've gone into portrait orientation, and that's allowing me to really have that far waterfall kind of just above centre frame, and then you've got the drop of the cascade, the main cascade coming below. I've had to adjust the exposure settings slightly. I'm now shooting at 1 second in f14, and that's because I actually want to, let me just open that up a little bit actually, I want to capture a relatively fast shot so that I've got some of the detail in the waterfall in case I want to paint that in later on. And just checking the histogram there, and yeah, it looks good. It's still very dark, which is the feel I'm going for, but we've not clipped any highlights and we've not lost any detail in the shadows, so that's perfect. I really hope that's not an example of some of the wildlife we've got here. Right,
I'm making my way up further into the glen. We'll see if we can see where the path is blocked, and also hopefully get into the mist and see if there's a couple of images with the fog involved as well. Well, you can't enter very far at all. That's a problem. I've just seen some dog walkers come further up, so I'm proceeding with caution. I'm now above that little channel that I was shooting, where there was a waterfall at the end. Well, the sign said a 25-metre drop. What it doesn't say is it's 25 metres straight down. You don't bounce until you get to the bottom. And that there is the dangerous landslide, which is, to be fair, you wouldn't want to fall down there. So if anybody's planning on coming here, be very, very careful, and dogs on leads, not to mention children, because that looks a bit of a drop if you were to go over. When I was here a few weeks ago, I took a couple of shots here, but when I got them back and I had a closer look at them, the pipe, which you can see running along to the right there, was a bit too overpowering in the image, and it kind of ruined it. It forms a very powerful leading line, as you can see, and it just distracted from everything else in the scene. So I decided the images weren't usable. Ah dear, yeah. There were a few cascades back there, but there's only so many waterfalls you can photograph in there before they all start to look very samey. So I really am looking for something a little bit unusual today. I'm not finding it. Now we do have what looks like some mist coming up, so fingers crossed for that. That's got a little bit of potential, hasn't it? The three waterfalls, the three little cascades all on a line like that, with this beautiful muted greens. Yeah, I might grab a shot of that. Oh yeah, I'm loving the stonework on the path there. I'm just looking to see if it's possible to include that and this cascade in a single image. I think it should be. I might have to change lenses, but I think I should be able to do that. There's a little bit of litter down near the water side, which I'll probably have to clone out or actually go down and remove physically. But I like that. I like the path disappearing up into the mist and that little cascade there. Okay, I've taken that shot. I've gone again for quite a kind of gloomy feel. I'm trying to maximise the mist. I'm trying to give the whole thing a kind of dark, almost foreboding feel. I think we might have a shot there. I've just remembered, just round the corner is another very dramatic waterfall which tumbles down beneath a bridge just over what looks like a little dam. So I'm going to shoot that because there's an amazing tree that kind of sticks out over it, and it forms a really useful stationary object behind which the waterfall comes tumbling down, and it makes for quite an interesting contrast. So I'm going to shoot that in a minute, but we've got something similar here. Unfortunately, it's not possible to get an angle where the tree and the waterfall over that. That's probably about as close as you can get. But I kind of like that stationary object in the tree combined with the waterfall and the motion in the waterfall is quite an interesting contrast. I can see it probably being a 5x4 or maybe even just a square crop. Yeah, I'm going to grab this and then I'll move round to that more dramatic waterfall. Let's get ourselves up to this more dramatic fall, which, as I say, I think is just behind the corner, yeah, as I can see it. And as you can see, this tree in the foreground makes for an interesting stationary subject. And then if I go a little higher, we've obviously got that beautiful mist in the background as well. So I think I'm going to spend some time here. I'll concentrate on this for a while and see what we can come up with. Right, what I've done here is I've taken two shots from this spot, one in vertical orientation so that I'm including the misty hill beyond, and one where I've gone more horizontal, something more like that, and I've excluded the misty hill but still including the top part of that dam and the little walkway that seems to be going across. Looks like a little bridge or something. I'm quite severely underexposing so that I've got that dark and moody feel again, but I also have taken quite a long exposure shot, and that is, as I've said earlier, just so that we've got that kind of sense of movement, and more importantly we've got that sense of contrast between the motionless tree and the falling water. I've just noticed just down there to the right at the bottom of the base of the fall, there looks to be, I don't know if that's an old log or a brick or a boulder or something like that is just sticking out above the water. Again, that's got that same stillness and all the chaos round about it kind of thing going on. So I'll probably try and zoom in with the 24-105 and isolate that. Or if I can't do that, I'm going to switch to the 70-300 and get in really tight with that. Okay, I've come to the other side of the bridge now and I'm looking down. Unfortunately, you don't get the same effect with the tree because the tree's kind of lost in amongst all that undergrowth. So you don't really get the same effect. You do still have the same effect with the boulder. I saw when I put the telephoto lens on that it is actually a boulder, not a log or a brick. You do get the same effect with the boulder, but the tree's kind of lost in amongst the undergrowth. I'll grab a shot from here anyway, just for reference, but I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as the earlier one. Yeah, here we've got a great example of what I'm always saying. Waterfalls look a lot less dramatic when you're looking down them. It's really, you've really got to be on a level looking across or below looking up. This is the same waterfall. Just over there is the same tree, but it just does not look anywhere near as dramatic from above looking down. Okay, as you can see, I've climbed up out of the glen now, and I'm pretty much in the mist, and I'm just scouring around on the ridgeline above me to see if I can find any potential photographic subjects, you know, like kind of lone trees, that sort of thing. A huge red deer stag would be nice, wouldn't it? But I'm not. There's a couple of trees just there where the two lines of the hill are forming a kind of V shape. You got a couple of trees there which are silhouetted against the background. I might try and grab a shot there, and then I'll move on. I'll probably move a little bit further up. I'm getting into quite thick fog now though, so the opportunities for photography are becoming less and less because the hillside's fairly bare further up. I know that there's not much in the way of trees, so really you're very limited to what you can shoot. But I'm going to try and make something with these silhouetted trees against the ridgeline. I reckon I've been here for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half now, and I have literally just seen the first human being since I've arrived. So I'm guessing the fear of death might be putting people off, but otherwise it's a lovely spot. Yeah, I headed back up the hill a little bit further, but visibility's down to it's about 5 feet. So I'm going to head back down the glen. Yeah, definitely think this particular scene is one of the highlights. I love that stony path there and just those little cascades off to the left. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully I did them justice in the earlier shots. Time will tell. So that's it for another video. Hope you enjoyed. Give us a little thumbs up if you did. If you haven't hit subscribe, then please consider hitting subscribe. I'm hoping to get to 3,000 subscribers in the next month or two, so it all helps.
In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.